Good morning, everybody. Tammy from Tammy's Homesteading Crafts. Today we're in a different area. We are in our kitchen. I'll talk about that in a minute. But we are going to be doing a snack video, twist to a normal, common snack that you can get at the grocery store. If you guys are interested, stick around. So before we get started with the video, I just want to welcome all of you to my channel. Thank you guys so much for stopping by, liking, subscribing, and commenting on my YouTube channel. I really appreciate that. For those of you who this might be the very first video you are watching, I hope you enjoy the content. I also do a knitting podcast where I talk about all of the knitting and sewing that I am doing, and then I also add some preserving and some gardening on this channel as well as every now and then some cooking videos. Something that I usually find that I like, that is a quick little snack or a treat, something that I find that I want to share with everybody, so I put it out on my channel. Okay. So let's talk about where we're at. As you can see, there's drywall. We are in the kitchen. My kitchen is very small. Normally I film in front of the table, shining to the back of the wall of the house. My table right now is covered with tools for this remodel. When I went out of town in March, my husband decided that he was going to take this wall down, which had the chimney in behind it. We no longer needed the chimney in the house. We don't have a fireplace or anything. We no longer needed the chimney in the house because when we got a new furnace, we piped that out of the back wall of the house, and then when we got a new hot water tank, we also piped that out of the back of the house, so nothing was venting through the chimney, so we no longer needed that, which getting rid of the chimney through the roof allowed me to have more room in my office upstairs, and then now it allows us to have more room in our kitchen here by him taking that out. So he cut a hole in the wall and removed all the block for the chimney, got that all the way down to the floor, and then went in the basement and removed it from there. Beside the chimney was my pantry that I had. It had a 5-foot door on it, but above the pantry went all the way to the ceiling, and there was a whole space above there that you really couldn't get to, and it was not a usable pantry for a lot of things. I mean, it held a lot of stuff, don't get me wrong, but there was a lot of space wasted. So he took that out, and we're going to put a cabinet grade refrigerator here, and it allows the back door to open all the way. The pantry stopped the back door from opening all the way, so it was hard to get bigger things in and out of the house because you couldn't get the door open all the way. Now the door will open all the way, and we are going to put another pantry over there to allow to put all of my spices, which by getting rid of that cabinet, I had to find a place for all the spices that I had in there, which now made me go through all of my cabinets, and any dishes that I did not use, I got rid of. Any dishes that I used a little bit, I made a shelf for them downstairs so that I could get to them when I needed them, so that I could put my spices in the cupboards around me here. So that is where we're at today. Working on the corner, trying to get everything done. It's a long process, so I don't know how many kitchen videos we're going to do because we don't have a lot of space. I do still have, behind me, behind the camera, is my sink and my counter and my stove. I still have that space to work, but yeah, it's not a lot, which when we move the refrigerator over here will allow me to have a whole nother counter space. And over on this side of the stove, I have my microwave. That's going to go attached to the cupboard where the fridge is, because there's a little cupboard above the fridge. Now I'm going to attach that to up there, so that'll give me even more counter space. So I'm really looking forward to getting some more counter space and having some more room in the kitchen. And then possibly getting a smaller table, because the kitchen, I don't know how they consider it an eat-in kitchen when there's really no space to put a table other than like a 2-person banquet little round table. I have a 4-foot by 2-foot table to fit 4 people, and it was always, you know, we always had it up against the wall. We only had 3 people ever here eating, but when we did have 4 or 5, we'd pull it out. You couldn't get anything out of the refrigerator. You couldn't get anything out of the oven. It was just, you couldn't get in and out the back door. It was just it's a very tight kitchen. So I'm looking forward to having a little bit more space in my kitchen. Okay, enough rambling about that. Let's get into our snack. Okay, so we are going to be making some seasoned pretzels today with our little snack. Basically, you're going to get a family pack of whatever hard sourdough pretzels you like. I got the Utz ones this time. That's what they had at Sam's, this big container of them. You want to get a family bag. You can get Snyder's, Andover. There's a lot of different ones. Buy the brand that you normally buy, you like, and grab a bag of them. A family bag, a nice big bag. I double the amount of pretzels that I put in it because to me, there was too much spice on the one bag of pretzels that I got. So I end up making a double batch of pretzels with only a single batch of the mix. You're going to, First thing you want to do is turn your oven on to 200 degrees and let it get up to temp. You want to get a pan. I use a roaster pan because like I said, I do the double of pretzels. It allows me to layer them in here. I just stir it a little bit more often so that I can make sure that I get every pretzel coated with the oil mixture. I use a 4-cup measuring cup to pour all of my stuff in. You're going to need some vegetable oil. You're going to need some ranch dressing mix. Just a packet of that. You'll need some garlic powder. Some lemon pepper seasoning. And then some dill weed. And we're going to mix this all together. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pretzels and I'm going to get them broken up into pieces into my pan here, and then I will mix up all of the ingredients. I mix it in here so that I can just pour it over my pretzels. I usually put some rubber gloves on so that I can just stick my hands right in the pretzels and make them, and make sure that that oil gets around all the pretzels so that when they bake, they can soak in. So let me show you what they look like. Oops, my finger's in the way. Let me show you what they look like once I get the pretzels all broken up and the mixture put together. Okay, so I used about half of my tub of pretzels and I broke them into small pieces, bite-sized pieces. Some of them are a little bit bigger, but you know, too small pieces, they almost absorb too much of the stuff, and it can tend to be a little salty because of all the salt that's in the pretzels. I try to make sure that I empty them out into another container instead of just dumping the bag in here, so that all the extra salt that's at the bottom of the bag doesn't get put in here. They're already salty because of their pretzels, and then the mix that you're putting into them, there is some salt in that as well, and they can be pretty salty. They do taste good, but they can be pretty salty. Okay, so in my mix, it was 3/4 cup of oil. It's a package of ranch dressing. Now, if you're using a container like I have, it's 1.5 tablespoons, and I'll put that in the conversion if you're using a container of ranch dressing so that you know what's in a pack. And then it's 1 tablespoon of garlic powder. Make sure it's powder, not garlic salt. Lemon pepper seasoning, and then dill weed. I just mix it all together really good here. And then I just pour it over my pretzels. Then I put rubber gloves on and I just stir it in. Let me pour this over and I will show you what it looks like before I put it into the oven. There we go, focused. Okay, so everything, as you can see, has a sheen on it, but when I separate, look how much of the seasoning is still down below underneath. So I'm just, when I see that, all that extra oil sitting there, as you can see all that glycerin,
I am going to add a little bit more pretzel into that to soak up some of that oil, because there is oil on all of the pretzel right now. You know, I've stirred it around quite a bit and there's quite a bit of oil on there. But I don't want all that oil to sit in the bottom of the pan. So we will I'll end up doing a few more pieces of pretzel in here, and then I will put them into the oven. But that's how they should look, a little shimmery like that. And if there's a lot of oil in the bottom of your pan, just add a few more pretzels. But look at that pool in the corner there. I want to make sure that all that oil gets put into the pretzels, so I'm going to add some more pretzels so that it can absorb some of that oil, so it's just not wasted in the bottom of the pan. And it just allows it to, you know, season a little bit better. Now that there's only just a little bit of oil residue on the bottom of the pan, I'm going to stick these into the oven and let them bake. They are to bake for an hour, and every 15 minutes stir them, and so that the oil can get through to more of the pretzel. But yeah, once you heat the oil up, it gets a little more liquefied and you're able to massage it through. I usually 200 degrees is not super hot for the food, that I can do it with a gloved hand. And I will just put my glove on, I'll stir it really good and put it back in. But we're going to put these in for an hour, and I will show you what they look like when we are done. We're going to stir them every 15 minutes, so then I'll show you what they look like when we're done. Once they're out of the oven, just give them one last stir and just let them sit and cool. You can put them out on the table, on parchment, wherever to let them cool. I usually just let them cool in the pan. It doesn't take too long for them to cool off, but just let them cool, and then you can store them in a Ziploc bag. They don't stay long in our house, so usually within a week, they're all gone. But one tip I wanted to say, if you get a big container of pretzels like I did, and you tend to find that they go stale, or even a bag of pretzels, they tend to go stale before you can use them, eat them, you can store your pretzels and stuff in the freezer. So now, and same with like crackers and stuff like that, they don't freeze technically, they just keep the moisture from getting into them, because the freezer kind of dries them out. When I get crackers and stuff like that from the store now, I put the boxes in the freezer so they'll stay crisp and fresh longer. So that's just a tip that I have. Hope you guys enjoy the pretzels, and thanks for watching.
Well guys, I hope you liked this video. I hope you enjoyed the snack as well as I do. I made it, I got this recipe years ago from when I worked in a doctor's office. One of the girls made the pretzels, they were really good. She gave me the recipe and I never actually made it. And I made it this spring and it was really good. My husband actually loved it, to give a little twist to the pretzels and just to give a different flavor. And we really enjoyed it. So I hope you guys enjoy this. Hope you guys try it and enjoy it. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, I will see you on the next one. Have a good day. Bye.